didn't know the music was going to stop there. I was trying to do like a montage. See, now it's all ruined. I fucked it up. Man. See, I got to get the music where it plays in both tracks. This guy's like, you know, I probably had too many peanuts yesterday. I think I should get some black sunflower. Oh, never mind. I'll go ahead and get this peanut. Have a good show, James. It's getting out of hand, right? Yeah, you know what I'm about. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to the show. Welcome to episodic, melodic, craconic, bajonic, phonic, 133. Rebel with a Cause. Rebel with a Cause. Let me put this up here. I love this painting by Guy. I can't read his name. This painting is a sigil for James True. This painting represents everything that is and could be and will be and that's coming in the future for me, myself, and I. And it might relate to you too. And so I wanted to lead the show with this painting because I think this painting says it all. You have the duality of 0 and 1, right? Of the binary. And what are we going through right now? What are we going through right now? We're going through some strife. Got a little bit of dissonance puddles going on. And what it is people are arguing about the dichotomy of morality and good and evil, right? And that is causing a lot of stir. The law, right? The law is chasing us. The law has the star of Renfram, right there on its shield there. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, let me see if I can. Oh, come on, James. You can't do that either? Come on, James. Come on. I got it, guys. Here we go. See, now that I got my new computer back, I have to kind of redo everything. But look, it's got like the star of Renfram. Wait, there we go. Right there. See that? Star of Renfram right there. Huh? Yep. And you got the digital thing going on right there. Yep. So, and then you've got this sigil right here. The most cursed sigil in America, the rebel flag, right? And then you have an entire industry declaring war on a television show from the 70s that was literally rated PG. It wasn't even rated PG-13. It was rated PG. And we can run naked titties through the woods all day long on the television, but we cannot show a PG show. We cannot do that. The most salacious part of Dukes of Hazzard would had to have been Daisy Duke and the camel toe, right? In fact, you didn't even see that. That's how clean it was. How they got those pants on so tight and not show that is beyond me. But it shows you how much they were working for it. In fact, the lovely actor who plays Bo, John Schneider is his name. He actually has a YouTube channel, and it's awesome to see. It's actually, I really enjoy watching that. It's all about Dukes of Hazzard stuff, so it's like it's not exactly like he's moved on, but it's fantastic because all his shows he's talking about, you know, this is kind of whack because this was like the most wholesome show on television ever. And he goes into those stories. He goes into the whole thing. And it's just interesting to see. Plus, he has one of the General Lees in his garage, and I just think that's cool as hell. There's something about when I was a kid, watching this show was just, it really was everything to me, and I didn't really understand why. It wasn't until I got much older and I started writing more that I started to realize, what is the reason for this? Why do I like this so much? And so in the show notes, I kind of wrote something. I'm going to read it to you. You guys were like, oh, you said you never... Yeah, I'm going to read you something I wrote in the show notes. So chill out. People suggest the word rebel means to go against the grain of society. But that's how you see the world if you were evacuated. See, if you're looking at society as how others see you, you're evacuated. But most of you guys may not have known that. But if you're thinking about how does that person see me, you physically have to take your plasma and pull it outside, simulate, and turn it around and stare it at you and then see the world that way. So the definition of rebel is evacuated from the very beginning. The main definition of rebel is one who goes against the grain of society, right? And in order to see it that way, you would have to leave yourself, turn around and go, oh, what you're doing is you're going against the grain of society, which is complete bullshit. It's complete bullshit, and here's why. Here's why. A rebel is not a contrarian. Believe it or not, it's not. Rebel means to be authentic despite the world around you. Excuse me. A true rebel does not rebel. He does not. He is completely loyal 100% of the time. He venerates his essence and his heritage. The rebel is the mountain. The rebel is the sequoia. The rebel is the deepest root in the forest. And if we're going to say, well, no, the rebel's the one that goes against society, what that literally means is that the rebel is the contrarian. And rebel's not a contrarian. A rebel will remain true regardless. That means that rebels have their highs and lows, like a sine wave. There are times when the rebel is the norm. There are times when the rebel is not. It doesn't affect the rebel, does it? The rebel is just as true regardless of what's happening around him. The General Lee has the rebel flag on the roof regardless of how you feel about it. That's what makes it so bold, so beautiful. I think that's what appealed to me at such a young age, was that I saw the raw brashness of it all. I saw the willingness to basically just be yourself. To be yourself. And there's such a strong power in that. I found it profound. It blew me away. I should have probably checked to see if audio's okay. I've got all kinds of crazy new technology happening here. But I'm assuming all is good. I'm under the impression, folks, that I can now see everyone's chat at the same time. And I'm going to type bingo. And all of you should see the word bingo. Let's see if it works. DLive, it worked. Okay, it did not go to YouTube, nor did it go to Facebook. So I guess I was wrong about that. It did not work. But I can see everything you type, and that's good. If you guys missed the episode last night, thanks, Kai Bear. Oh, man, I'm sorry, Kai Bear. I have no business having my pants on right now. That was a joke. Last night, we did a special stream, kind of off the cuff kind of stream. What happened was I was going to go on Secrets of Saturn, and we were infiltrated. No, I'm just kidding. The internet didn't work. Jason called in last night at the beginning of the show. If you guys want to check out the show 132, you could see that. We are, thanks Grimla. It actually turned out to be an interesting show, didn't it? Yeah, thanks, Sonny. Yeah, you saw it too. It was definitely an interesting take, right? Don't worry, I can't wait to talk to Jason and Wayne. That's going to be coming next week, it looks like. But Jason was nice enough to call in last night and assure you guys that this had nothing to do with any kind of things that I've said. In fact, Jason is the only one who's really stepping out forward and going, actually, it's because you said that, James, I would like you on my show. See how that worked? Do you see what Jason did there? Do you see what Jason did? He's a rebel. He's a rebel. Why? Because he authentically was interested in the topic regardless of what was going on around it. In fact, if anything, I would say he's a trailblazer in this realm. And I thank him for that. And I hope that me praising him is not somehow going to hurt him in some way. Jason does not align to me. Jason has not pledged an oath to my philosophy or my cosmology at all. He simply is interested in the topic. He's interested in the journey, we should say. It's really more about a journey than the destination, but you guys know that. You guys know that. What is that supposed to be? Oh, that's the song. So I can't believe I'm showing you something from Fox News, but it's important. That's why I gave this. Steve Bannon among 4 arrested, indicted in online fundraiser scheme, DOJ says. Steve Bannon, architect of QAnon, is claiming to be arrested by Fox News. Now, you could argue that the captain of QAnon has now been arrested. And you could read that as like a fantastic, awesome thing, and I'm not going to stop you. I think that your interpretation of this is going to be just as valid as mine. But I didn't mean to put that but in there. I put that but in there, didn't I? I kind of. Yeah, I should just end the show. It's. I'm sorry, guys.
Let's go to park.
No, I'm just kidding. Hey, look, he's back. Come on. Come on. He's like, no, really, the black sunflower seeds, it's good. It's good. It's good. We should do this, James. Why don't you just keep talking? Why are you doing this? He's like a drummer, right? But instead of drumming, he's chewing on seeds. Chewing on seeds? Yeah. So let's think about Bannon here for a sec. I don't even like talking about it. I want to remind you, like a month ago, completely ignored, Steve Bannon was in a yacht off the coast of the New York Harbor. And on that coast, he signed a blood pact, a blood oath on contract between him and the descendant of a Japanese puppet. And they claimed that China was now a free nation. They declared it the federal state of China. Not one media outlet covered it. Not one truther even decided to look at this idea. It was off the coast of New York in front of the Statue of Liberty. If you watch my show, you saw this. You saw this happen. Shout out to Elle for pointing that out to me early on. She's been a great source of research. And I've been tracking Steve, you know this, for a year or two. I think there's something fascinating about his career as it rises up through Breitbart. He was behind Pizzagate. He was behind Epstein. He was behind Weiner. He was behind Clinton. His first expose was a hit piece on Hillary Clinton. The guy knows salaciousness. The guy knows how to bring numbers in. He knows how to run a campaign. Then he was hired as CEO of Trump's campaign. Now, so James, does that mean QAnon's arrested? Does that mean that QAnon has been thwarted? And I would say to you, probably not, but it could be, okay? So theory one, we're simulating here. I'd like to remind you all that take your dominant hand. I'm a lefty. See, I'm looking at the camera and I'm like, wait a minute, that's my right hand. I'm a lefty, which means that my simulation brain is over here. It's simulating. It's doing all the creative work. And let's simulate what this means. Steve Bannon, A, option one, Steve Bannon was the Zionist the whole time. Donald Trump was the true Americana, the rebel. All right? And Donald Trump gave his daughter to Jared Kushner in marriage. He was like, please, I would like for this gay man to stick his genitals inside my daughter. Not weird at all. In exchange for this alignment with Zionism, we're going to say one theory is that Trump is the rebel. And he sent his daughter in as an underground secret agent to infiltrate that family. And him converting all of his children over to Judaism was part of that plot to infiltrate. That the entire time he's been holding a torch for JFK. The entire time he's been plotting this massive white hat movement to destroy it all. And what you're seeing now with Steve Bannon being arrested is that now that's all over and the Zionists are finally going to go to jail. And the 27 countries that are boycotting Israel are going to stop. And everyone's being arrested, and Majestic 12 is going to descend from the sky and anally probe, and show you their ET extraterrestrial thing that's been here behind the whole time. Majestic 12 claims that aliens came down to help the White Hats save us from the cabal. That's how contagious that idea is. They're going to save you from the cabal. And it's a tale full of sound and fury. Full of it, right? Signifying nothing. Hey, Red Squirrel. Fancy seeing you today. Are you ready to Promethei this? No, he's going to jump. Watch, you'll see him in the very back. Whoosh! You see that? He's like, no, it's too dangerous. Now he's all pissed. He's like, how dare you open that thing? So, that is a bona fide theory. It is bona fide. It is. Trump's been painted as the rebel. This is a wrestling ring, right? The whole scenario is a wrestling ring. So you're going to need that good force, right? That good guy, rebel guy, the Bo and Luke Duke. You're going to need that. That's Trump. And then you need the witch. Who's the witch? Who's the witch? Someone tell me how's the witch. Oh, the Yeti. You think I have the COVID? That's funny. We all know the witch is right? Hillary. She's the perfect witch. She's fantastic. She literally studied Wicca in college, right? She literally, before Bill Clinton was even Attorney General, Hillary Clinton was studying voodoo. Hillary Clinton was actually probably choking chickens in her stainless steel island kitchen sink with the really nice fancy Pfister water faucet thing. She was probably putting the roosters, the 12 roosters she had to murder, 12 white roosters, probably putting them in a garbage bag and twisting their necks off and letting them bleed out and just watching that sweat come out of her as she's doing this sacrifice, and she's slipping. She's entering into this portal. And you might be like, James, that's the most insane thing I've ever heard, and I have no problem with you rejecting that. Was I in Hillary Clinton's kitchen when she did that? No. But I tracked her down to Haiti. I'm not the only one. Many have. Tracked her down to, actually, believe it or not, going to a mass in a church that Haiti was calling illegal. Like, no one can go to this church. So whether or not that's true doesn't matter. That's the injection. So we have the injection of Trump, right? Rebel bad guy, rebel awesome guy, Father Tesla, right? Uncle Trump, Uncle Fred Trump, Tesla, linked up, save the secret world. You've got the lion, you've got the witch, and you've got the wardrobe, which is us, this country, politics itself. And the entire time you've got Steve Bannon pumping you stories about Epstein Island, right? Billionaire, pedophile, underground base, submarines, Solomon's Temple, secret elevators, cannibalism, ripping children's faces off and eating them, rumors of islands burning, and you've got Neon Revolt, Amazing Polly, Praying Medic, Martin Gibbs. You have them all telling you every day that there's even more adrenaline. But wait, there's more, says Billy Mays. There's more. And the entire time we can't help ourselves. We are led like yarn. I'm guilty of this, aren't I? I've been getting some great advice lately. James, you need to frickin' drop it. You need to drop it. In fact, people are like, people don't even have to type what I mean. Like, you need to drop it, you need to move on. And I hope that this lesson shows you. I hope that you can see my folly, my gifts of ball right here, and see how hard it is to bow out of the salaciousness, especially if you're in the media, especially if you are in the media. Because what makes news is the fact it's new, right? It's not called truths. It's called news. Different beast altogether. Requires a different appetite, requires a different method. I don't think I would ever be able to get a squirrel to come this close. Okay, I cannot find my mouse. This is insane. I don't think I could ever find a squirrel get this close on just black sunflower seeds. No, I need crack. And if I offer these guys crack, they will come close. They will get so close, they will rock on my keyboard to get this crack. And I'd like you to understand that that's what Steve Bannon is. I'd like you to understand that as personalities become more, we'll use the word famous, but as they raise up, the pros, the professional ones, all right, let me put it this way. Imagine you want to do 100 push-ups and you train for 2 weeks. You train for 6 weeks. Every morning you're getting up and you're doing 7 sets of push-ups and you're incrementing it by 1 each day, right? 100 days later, you've got 100 push-ups in. You're doing that. And those 100 push-ups hurt. They still hurt. They still affect you. But when you've been doing that for 10 years, 100 push-ups doesn't affect you. 1,000 push-ups affect you, but 100 doesn't. Not only does 100 push-ups not affect you, you actually don't even get the benefit of the exercise anymore. it becomes something that's wait a minute, what is this? Love the people telling James to drop it and be a little bitch while someone defames him. True. Yeah, there you go, girl. It's it's not even a wrong decision. However I react is not going to be wrong, because it's the reason why it's not going to be wrong is that all it is opportunity to watch. I'm bringing authenticity to it, so it doesn't really matter. It's fine. Just like Wester Romebear. Poor Jimmy, forever lost in self-centered circle jerk. That's right. Isn't it interesting, Wester Romebear, that in my self-centered circle jerk, you're here watching. You're like, you know what I want to see? I would love to see James touch himself in a circle. I'm going to go watch that, says Wester Romebear, and here you are, contributing to my numbers, adding to the crowd, bringing your warmth and prana into this place, West of Romebear. That's fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. It's a weird habit you got, dude, especially in the morning. Is it morning where you are? Is this what you think of, West Romebear, when you get up in the morning? You see, even my bad decisions should still be viewed as authentic content. And I hear you that I need to drop it and move on, and I literally am trying. You guys may have noticed I've gone a couple weeks where I haven't said anything about that. But I slip off the wagon, don't I? How does that work? Do you slip off the wagon or on the wagon? How does it work? See, look, crack. Is the crack enough? No. He's like, no. Not today, James. Not today. Now, Steve Bannon is the same way, but he's an expert. The people that have been doing this for a while are experts. What I mean by that is that when someone attacks them, they no longer see it as something negative. They're not hurt by it. And if you were to look back, I think that you would see that certain people have this career where they literally stair-step off each other's strife and use it as fuel. It's part of their natural process, which is no longer authentic. It's a part. It's a role. It's an act. People act, and they perform that. Wow, that big guy. Look at this beautiful one. Look how big she is. This is Grandma. She's probably nervous, but that's Grandma right there. Let's see if she wants that one. Man, she's big. I don't know if you guys saw how big she was compared to the other. It might be hard to see, but man, she's big. Hey, girl. Look how gray she is. Hey, girl. How's it going? Look how big her hands are. So what I'm getting at is that as you get bigger in this game, instead of you feeling like you're attacked by someone, you start to get up and feel like, oh, I'm invigorated by someone's attack. The more people that see my name, whether good or bad, the better off I be. And then you find out that you're not actually dealing with someone who's authentically in themselves. They're doing what I told you when we first opened the show about Rebel. They're stepping outside themselves and they're turning around, they're looking back. And they're saying, how would I look this way? How would I look from this perspective? And that's evacuation. We evacuate ourselves when we do that. We have to simulate out of our bodies and look at it from somewhere else. He might, Alex, but this is she's new here. She's like Grandma Squirrel. She's new here. I'm surprised she's even this close, to be honest. I don't think you guys realize just how close that is. It's here, I'll show you. See, you want a peanut, girl? She'll probably freak out. Yeah. See? Yeah, she's trying every one. So I don't want to take that away. Sorry, guys. I think you guys... James, shut up. Show her. So, I want you to see the relationship between the vitriol that's been happening in social media around me and the vitriol that's been happening around Steve Bannon, around Roger Stone, around Julian Assange, around Anthony Weiner, around, what was that laptop guy's name? Ahmed, the wife or girlfriend of Hillary Clinton's lesbian lover. Guys, it had a lesbian lover. The story had a lesbian lover, guys. Hillary Clinton had a lesbian lover in it. The lion, the witch, the lesbian witch, and the wardrobe. It had every single piece of crack was thrown into the popcorn. And it hasn't stopped. And so when I tell you that Steve Bannon has been arrested, yes, there is that first idea that this is the end, that we're saving Israel for last. And Steve Bannon's arrest is showing you that's happening. That's one scenario, and that's the most beautiful one, isn't it? It's sexy. It's got pizzazz. It feels good. You can take it on the street, and people will feel good when you share that with them. And that's part of evacuation, when you find yourself looking outside yourself and saying, will someone see me as a bringer of good if I tell them this story? And literally, that's most of the people in this game. I think it's why I only have 15,000 subscribers. What do you mean only? Guys, I had 17,000 2 weeks ago. That's how I go. I don't go like this. I go, that's how I go. And part of that is because I make these negotiations. I know what's going to happen before I say something. I don't always know how it's going to set, but I just don't. As CBD Store Bear says, I love 2020 Days of Our Lives. And he's right. If it wasn't a soap opera, none of you would be invested in government. Do you understand? So I want to ask you to consider that this Bannon arrest, it could be that magical thing. It also could be, how do we bring the wall? How do we bring the election? How do we bring corruption? How do we do something to bring something on stage? And it's hard for you to realize this because you think reputation means something to other people. My reputation means everything to me. One of the reasons why I had to cut Aaron off is because I told Aaron, by putting up this video, by not discussing this with me, you're hurting my reputation. I made promises based on this. And Aaron's response is, your reputation is shit. It doesn't matter. That was his way of dismissing it. Now, he later said it was bulletproof, so I'm not sure what he means by that. But I realize I'm dealing with someone that doesn't think reputation is important. Fame becomes more important. I'm not saying that that's Aaron, by the way. I'm saying that as you notice, the more and more someone is immersed in Hollywood, the more they slip from reputation to fame. In fact, that's why you see so many humiliation ceremonies, isn't it? Men dressing like women, Fear Factor, the program Fear Factor, and these salacious attacks that aren't even based on truth. There's a video of Alex Jones where he shows up at a pro-gun rally. He was invited by the organizers to come to a pro-gun rally. And he gets out of his Hummer and he pulls out his megaphone and he starts painting everyone there as anti-gun. And within minutes they were yelling at him. They were chasing him. And if you had the right camera angle, it would look exactly like everyone was anti-gun except for Alex Jones. It would look like that. Why? Because he was yelling at someone with a megaphone going, guns are blah, 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 positive. And they're just like, what the fuck are you talking? I agree. And they couldn't. Their reaction to him was felt as negative. And you need to understand that Hollywood itself is a hermetical order. And it requires either wizardry or evacuation to even be in that game. And once you're in that game, you learn how to siphon it for resources. You learn how to siphon it for money, and you cannot come back from that. Because the moment you ruin your reputation is the moment you can no longer value it as much as it could before then. There's a virginity to reputation. We call that word parthenia on this channel. And it's built up over time. And if you take your reputation out and sacrifice it on the pole for fame, you stop valuing your reputation at all. Because when you bring your reputation out, when no one's looking, at home, when you're alone, you get out of the shower, you're wet, You're in your towel, you go in your bedroom, you lay down in your bed, you look up at the ceiling fan, and you exhale, you take a deep breath. And as the water is evaporating off your body, you're thinking about your reputation and no one's around. And it's those moments are everything. And many of you have learned what I've learned. You understand how those moments are so much more important than that time you were on the yacht off the coast, drunk and this, and you got laid, and you were doing drugs, and you were doing this, and you were doing that. You realize that laying on your back on your bed, still wet from a shower, watching the oscillations of the ceiling fan, and ruminating on your reputation and what you've done, that is a more immersive, dilational experience than anything else. And you only know that when you're not evacuated. It's the only way that works. And so you're dealing with a world of hyenas. People that are mad but pretend to laugh, right? People that are angry at you but claim they're joking. You're surrounded by those hyenas, and when you see that many hyenas, you realize, how do you feed those hyenas? Salacious meat. Salacious meat. And then you start to understand why Steve Bannon acts the way he does. You have compassion for Steve Bannon right now because you get his line of thinking. He lies because he feels he's in a world of lies, and lies are how you win. Steve does not care. Okay, he cares what he feels like after the shower, but because he's outside of himself simulating, because he thinks rebel means contrarian, because he thinks rebel means one who goes against the grain. He's worshiping his fame, not his reputation. These are very, very different things. Very, very different things. You know what, guys? Prune my lips. If you could please change that word reputation to pride, I think you'll find this works even better. Sorry about that. That when you start to understand that pride is an internal thing and fame is an external thing. I really screwed up by using reputation, actually. I should have switched those. But it's so hard to understand the internal versus the external, because we forget. We were told, well, the definition of rebel means evaluate your body, look back at yourself. Are you being different than everyone around you? Yes? Okay, you're a rebel. And that's not a rebel, is it? That's not a rebel. That's a contrarian at best. And as long as you move whatever you're going to move, you know the rebel's always going to do the opposite as long as the zeitgeist is outvoting him. And that's not rebel. Rebel is mountain. Rebel is Sequoia. Rebel is deep, deep, deep root. I need to check I'm not getting any chats on this fancy window that claims it's going to show me all my chats on YouTube. So I wasn't being vulgar, but you put me in timeout. Okay. So now I can see it all. Sorry, guys. I've been missing this. That stinks that I can't see your guys' chats. It stinks. Sorry. Stopping the show here. Not good. What if I refresh? Because it was showing me. Hey, YouTube, give me a chat. So, we will watch Steve Bannon unfold, but we will not, actually we won't watch. We will passively wait for data that happens to come by should it be convenient. And I think that's about the best you could do, because the second scenario, the one that no one wants to talk about, the one where he's not a hero, is this. How do you open a new scene? If Alex Jones wanted to make an entrance, keep in mind what he wants. He wants fame. So if he wanted to make an entrance, it wouldn't matter how he did it. In fact, he might even argue, hey, what if you bring me in arrested? What if you bring me in handcuffs? Wouldn't that be something? And I think that's what you're looking at with Assange. Guys, they arrested Assange. They pulled him out clutching a book by Gore Vidal. Why would you arrest someone and let them hold a book? Why? Where's the logic in that? Is that your job? As a cop, is it your job to make sure someone has a book? Is that how top-level police do that? Something that you know is going to be on camera for everyone to see. Don't you think that inside the police precinct, any other cop that would see that video anywhere around the world would be like, what the fuck? That's not how you arrest someone. So why would you take that many chances? Why would you burn your own reputation to make sure he has that book? And I'll tell you the reason why. It's because it wasn't an arrest. That's not an arrest. Julian Assange was not arrested. And if you think that Epstein Island is salacious, look at Julian Assange. Hollywood girlfriend, Pamela Anderson. Kittens. Kittens. Every single mainstream media outlet tells you, has told you verbatim. You can even finish my words here. WikiLeaks has never been disputed. Julian Assange has been arrested and treated unfairly. All these things have been over every news outlet. All of you know that because you've been asked to martyr. You've been shown a martyr. And it provides you something to cling to so you will watch this drama unfold. It gives you something to watch. If it wasn't this way, you wouldn't watch it. Why do you think Pamela Anderson was involved? Why is it that Pamela Anderson can infiltrate an embassy, that the evilest cabal, 6,000-year-old evil cabal, the cabal that can send energy weapons from the fucking clouds to burn down Paradise, California, does not have the technology to outwit Pamela Anderson? It's the biggest joke ever. Vol, is that 3 L's? Vol L? So it's like 3 L's and then an L? That's Vol L. As Vol L says, biggest joke ever. And she's right. And we're lapping it up, aren't we? Because it's got the drama, it's got the salaciousness, and it's got the escape. How do you escape your own drama? By watching drama that's more. That's how you do it. Because it's more. Drama trumps drama trumps drama. Doesn't matter if it's good, doesn't matter if it's bad. And why do people want drama? Because it's self-soothing. When you were salaciously activated by something outside yourself, your problems are gone. Thank you, Bloom DeGraff. Yes, james@jtrue.com. People email me literally all the time. It's happy to take feedback. That escapism has been bred in you since day one, right? From the very beginning, that escapism has been installed in your head. It goes back to the Hindenburg. I hate it. This is where people disagree. No, James, it goes back. It's like, okay, whatever. Fine. It goes back to 250,000 fucking years ago when a caveman came out and said, acorn bad, whatever. But it goes all the way back. When television was first invented, they started unrolling this. In fact, I would argue with you that if you were to look at the very, very early high-altitude explosions, that could have easily been them showing you the firmament and watching how you react to it. And watching how all these different ideas could be presented to see which one sticks. Because right after Operation High Jump, right after Operation, sorry, I'm losing the word here on the dome, Operation Fishbowl, an operation, there's like one more. These high altitude explosions over the Canary Islands in the Pacific. That the whole time where they're showing you visual pictures of the dome, there's other CIA agents, there's other clown agencies that are like, let's tell them that this giant aluminum ball with antenna, Sputnik, is real. Let's tell them that this works. Let's tell them that. Let's see if it sticks. Let's do a War of the Worlds radio broadcast and see what happens. Let's measure the response from the people and see how easy or how hard that is. Thank you, Operation Dominic. Thank you, Chad. I can always count on you. Thank you, Chad. And what happened right after Sputnik? Right after, 4 years later, NASA. And we bought it. We bought it. The Hindenburg. Oh, the humanity. We bought it. World War I. Archduke Ferdinand. We got to fucking avenge Archduke Ferdinand. We bought it. World War II. The Nazis. We bought it. Grenada, Falkland Islands, Vietnam, Korea, Laos, Thailand, Burma. Don't make me name them all. There's like 50, 60, 64 countries. Every 1.3 years, we bought it all. Now it's getting harder, isn't it? They can't convince millions of us to go and kill each other based on a fashion decision. So we're getting better, aren't we? We're getting better. I'm proud of you. We are getting better. But I submit to you this. Elon Musk, by putting his Tesla Roadster in space, by literally driving the machine onto the launching pad, claiming that a driven machine right on the launching pad, air in the tires, all the pressurized cooling systems, everything else, you could just put it up in space and put it in orbit. And you guys are like, that's because he's evil. It could be. But it also could be that he's literally showing you the most ridiculous fucking thing he can. And we're still buying it. And I think that's more true. I think that's more true. The reason why is because I look back and I see all the psyops and how easily we fall for each one over and over and over again. It's gotten so bad that we have a voodoo witch doctor choking 12 white roosters in her fucking kitchen in order to get Bill Clinton to be attorney general so he can go on to be governor, so he can have affairs with literally everyone while they run the Waco scam and kill 4 people in the head in broad daylight on video and still make it to the White House. And all of us are like, yeah, man, democracy. Holy fuck, we gotta fix it. All this is legit. We got to fix it. And all we've done is just drooled. For 8 years, 16 years, 24 years, we've been drooling since Kennedy. And I swear to you, I don't even know if he's dead. I mean, he's probably dead now. If you stop looking at this as a government and you start looking at this as Dojo Earth, I'm telling you guys, what the hell I'm saying to you is going to start to make some sense. You're going to start to see some angles you weren't seeing before. And you're never going to see it if you believe literally every single person is out there to be evil and to enslave you. And I'd like you to imagine your neighborhood right now. I'd like you to paint every single person who lives in your neighborhood as trying to enslave you. And I'd like you to carry that paint with you in your head for a week and see how well you fit into your neighborhood after that. Amanda B, so you don't think Q is real? I think that question is so basic that it dismisses the entire thing altogether. I think QAnon is a division of Smith Moon. I don't think. QAnon is a division of Smith Moon. It's legal. There's a legal mandate which says, hey, you're going to make a propaganda outlet, OAN, by the way, American Network, right? The OAN, that is the propaganda network, QAnon, started by Smith Moon. Your Congress dollars are OAN. Who's one of their lead reporters? Jack Posobiec? Have you seen that guy? Do you honestly think that guy made it on camera by charisma? No. What was Jack's job? Naval warfare intelligence. What was his job? To create propaganda for the Navy. What was Steve Bannon's job? Naval intelligence. Warfare department. Psychological warfare. USA is propaganda, Amanda. USA is propaganda, Amanda. It's all right there. It's all right there. And we're in a wrestling ring at the local YMCA. And it's a full crowd. There are at least 300 people here. Most of them are in overalls. And they are throwing metal chairs into the ring. And it is a free-for-all. And inside the ring is not Mike, the electrician, versus Doug, the heating and air guy. Two all-American normal guys living their life, fighting to the death. No, it's not. No. It's Dirk Dastardly, the Arab menace, versus Tom Tall Lance, the blonde whoever. And that's how you do Lion Witch wardrobe. And guys, Trump was a wrestler. There's video of him bitch slapping and rope bouncing Vince McMahon. And I'm telling you, when you're in the truth movement and you haven't gotten out of this yet, you've not been indoctrinated in this hermetical order that I told you about Building 7. We talked about this, the different yellow belts. Before you go into the dojo, before you open the doors, when you're out in the lobby playing a victim, you were looking around and you were convinced that all these people are trying to kill you, which makes you convinced that some of them are trying to save you. And you get lost in that drama. But if you truly want to look at that, what would a good person do? A good sovereign person would not try and save you. He would give you witness to save yourself. How would he do that? He would show you things. He wouldn't tell you, he would show you. He would show you so you could tell yourself. And so he puts an orbiter, a Tesla Roadster, in space. He's trying to show you, look how ridiculous this is. And we buy it. We buy it all. We buy it so much that if you look at the logo for Space Force, it's a suppository. I'm not kidding. Look at the logo for Space Force. It's a suppository. And ladies and gentlemen, Exhibit A, actually it's Exhibit C, Waynel Sexton. And you're never going to figure it out because you think white hats would never lie, black hats always lie. And the truth of the matter is there is no white and black hat. Black hats tell the truth. You wouldn't trust them if they didn't tell the truth. Black hats don't lie. Black hats leave things out. They omit. And you never catch them. You never hold them accountable. You never stop them. And if you're looking for someone to save you, you're looking for more salaciousness. It's when you understand where you put your time and your attention is worship that you truly, truly break free of this system. Because you start to realize, I'm the one feeding this. I have an asynchronous connection from me to them. It's more than a cold, Astral Soul. QAnon is the tip of the spear. QAnon runs the Republican Party. And you might be like, well, that doesn't make any sense. But you have to understand how archetypology works. I'm talking about living energy. There are pinnacles of ideas. You could go on Twitter right now and see what's trending. And most of the people that are working in the field of eyes and ears are accenting what's trending. They're using what's trending as fodder. I think maybe I might be trending a little bit, which is why certain people are using me as fodder right now. I'm just saying. I think that it's good fodder. I think it works. And if you start to look at every single news story as it's a potential for fodder and its ability to run on its own like a motor, think of these stories like a motor. They spin you up and you go. And how do they spin you up? They've got to get you. They got to grab you. Whether that be with an insight, a fear, a titillation. That's why I use the word salacious. And that's why when people say, stop using the word salacious, I have to use it even more because you're not understanding. The only game is salacious. It's the only game. Guys, if you're seeing a story that's national, you have to understand it required fuel. And you have to understand the only way that thing had fuel is if it was salacious. Which means it's bullshit. That story was written for fuel, not for truth. And as No Fear points out, QAnon began with Cambridge Analytica, but even earlier. Because this has always been the game. This goes back to Rockefeller's war on plants, doesn't it? That was a system-wide war on plants. The FDA was created literally to destroy plant medicine. So you can't even really look at this stuff as new. The only thing that's new is that we understand black hats tell the truth. White hats lie. Which means these hats don't mean shit. I'm saying to you they don't mean shit because whether or not Julian Assange is secretly helping you or hurting you, he's still lying to you. And you're not going to hold him accountable for that because you're measuring him by the amount of drama he puts in your veins. And that's why it's called news. Because what you're really doing is saying, what's the heroin that stays in my veins the longest right now? New is the drug. And you shouldn't even ask, Astral Soul, what is the symbolism behind Q? Just like you shouldn't ask who is P. Do you guys remember P? Remember Q going around? Like, think about it. LMNOP, Q. Think about it. He's walking around telling everyone to guess who P is. That's not someone trying to help you find truth, is it? Guys, Q told you NASA was real. He literally told you NASA was real. If that's not a Tesla Roadster flying through space, I don't know what else is. Because what it comes down to is this is a belief technology. And we choose our religion by what makes us feel good. Only a few of us are in the basement forging our own cosmology. Most of us are choosing religion based on what feels good. How do I look in this? Right? And I'm glad you brought it up, Astro Soul. That's why we're here. I'm glad you brought it up. That's why this is so hard, because I have to find a way to compete with salaciousness. It's hard. So we'll watch this unfold, but not tertiarily, peripherally we'll watch it. We'll see how this pans out. I want to remind you guys, Ahmed, Uma's life, still nothing happened to him. The dude's working in the cell where Epstein died, nothing happened to him. Every single person involved in Pizzagate, nothing has happened to any of them. Nothing. Giselle Maxwell, nothing. Wexner, nothing. Nothing. Epstein, nothing. Nothing happened to Epstein. This is how does your actor leave the scene? The same way Alex Jones came in. Hey man, you could arrest me and take me on stage that way. Hey man, you could kill me and take me off stage that way. Entrance, exit. Lion, witch, wardrobe. Wardrobe is the set. And if you understand Hollywood, you have to understand you got to have an entrance, you got to have an exit. And they have to be grand. That's how it works. Yeah, nothing happened to Podesta brothers. Nothing happened to the Podesta brothers. Guys, are you seriously going to tell me that out of all the New York cops, some of the grittiest, down-to-earth, salty motherfuckers around, that not one of them was motivated enough by the supposed evidence that they're throwing up over at night, that they can't handle anymore, that they're losing sleep and divorcing over because they want to arrest him so bad? Are you seriously trying to tell me that not one of those would grab a fucking torch and find justice for those kids? Think about it. Think about it. What is a cop's main job? What would a cop want to go down for more than anything else? And we're pretending, no, they've been told just to wait. They've been told to wait a little bit longer. Keep in mind, this idea of this white hat's been in plot. They're telling you that since JFK Jr., that people that perpetrated 9/11 and invaded every country, every 1.3 years from here until now, all decided we're hiding underground because Trump's coming in 50 years. Please tell me you see how stupid that is. Right, like the secret sex tape between Hillary and Uma. Exactly. Nada. Thank you, Aiden Nemophilist. Yeah, trusting the plan is not trusting your gut. And why? Because the salaciousness tells you not to. What is that? Yep. A year ago when I busted this story, no one wanted to hear that. It was horrible news. Horrible. And that's how you know you're winning. Morality is always going to be hard. I think the only reason why morality is even a word is because it's hard. And if you're not having these hard battles every day, you're not living a moral life. Guys, we don't even know what happened at Vegas still. We still don't know what happened at Vegas, but it doesn't matter because Steve Bannon's been arrested. And Roger Stone and Steve Bannon, it's all coming out now. It's all coming out now. Let's watch SGT report and let's watch it unfold. Let's see what happens. And not once will we ask, hey, instead of asking, is Q real? What the hell is the motivation of Q? And can you show me why they're not Smith-Mooned? Can anyone possibly present evidence to me why QAnon is not run by Smith-Mooned? If you guys don't know what Smith-Mooned is, it's a congressional law that basically enables the government to create propaganda. And that propaganda for years and years was meant for foreign countries, to distribute foreign propaganda, to lie to other countries in order to help our national defense. And Smith-Moon was changed to say, you can do that domestically now. And none of us complained. How could we? How could we? The media would tell you how wrong you are to even question that. Yeah, they keep waiting for a savior. Do you know why they keep waiting for a savior? Because they hate Prometheus. They hate the idea that someone would leave their comfortable environment and reach up, despite all the threats, despite all the dangers, lose oxygen itself, the ability to breathe, to go for something that they knew was right, that they knew that they were here to find. Like this guy. Watch this. Look at it. That's Prometheus in water. That's Prometheus right there, guys. A fish completely out of his element, defying every single thing about how he was made, why he was made, what he was supposed to do. Reaching up above his comfort zone and grabbing it. That's the torch right there. And people want you to feel shame for that. They want you to call this shame. Look at how beautiful that is. Come on, man. That's what you're here for. And keep bringing, Ann. Keep trying to blow out my candle. Two of my really close friends from Scotland sent me this. If you can't see it on podcast, guys, it's a cupcake that has my name in it. And they keep blowing out a candle and it keeps lighting back up. You can't do it, guys. My ego's too strong. And I want you to use that against me. I want you to say, oh, see, he proved it. Yeah, I want you to that, because anyone who's listening to me understands exactly what I mean. Like we talked about last night. The ups and downs, the ups and downs, the ups and downs. Those are my 1,000 push-ups. I can do 1,000 push-ups. I'm talking about with my ego, I cannot do 1,000 push-ups. That's why I can be wrong. I have plenty to spend on being wrong. I have plenty. I can go, yeah, I was wrong about that. I sent out a quote on C.S. Lewis the other day. I told someone this is a C.S. Lewis quote. It was totally not a C.S. Lewis quote. Someone pruned my lips, and it was great. I felt it. I was like, oh, I was wrong about that. God, man. And I know I C.S. Lewis. Felt like a heel. But I had plenty to spend. I had plenty to spend because I'm not going around telling you how much you should hate this. Because to hate this is to hate yourself. If you hate this, you hate yourself. If you think you're supposed to spend your nights in the dark, in the cold, shivering, begging for someone to come save you like QAnon, you hate yourself. Yeah, I don't think it was repealed, Jim Bob. Jim Bob says, what if Smithman repeals propaganda? Yeah, I don't think it was repealed. I know that they say it's repealed. I don't think it was at all. I think what they were actually showing is, hey, we've been doing this. And all those, the OAN network is a government network. Have they been shut down? No. Could this story of Steve Bannon be arrested mean that they will be shut down? Absolutely. Absolutely. And if we find out that the first scenario was right, if you want, you can come to the show and you're going to watch me eat. Actually, I love crows. You're going to watch me swallow my foot. You're going to watch me say, look how wrong I was. Majestic 12 is here. The secret blue space chicken was QAnon the whole time. Whatever it is. I know I'm being kind of funny here. I'm not saying everyone who believes QAnon believes in the blue space chicken. But I will happily come here and tell you how wrong I was. Because at night, or in the day, when I finish my shower, and I want to lay on my bed and watch my ceiling fan as I dry off, that's a special moment to me. I like that time. I want that to remain sacred. And that's what makes me a rebel. It's not my contrarian nature. It's not my desire to push against the grain. What makes me a rebel is my desire to watch the ceiling fan spin around me as the shower evaporates from my body and I just breathe and I just think about stuff. And when I think about stuff, I don't have to think about evil whatever. All I can do is use my compassion and spread it around and just look at why people do the things they do. Steve Bannon does what he does, the same reason Elon Musk does what he does, the same reason Trump does what he does, the same reason all of them do what they want. It's because you feed them. That's exactly why they do what they do. You feed them. And when they change is when you change. That's what happens at the strip, at the mall, at the food court, I mean. You're going to go in the food court and you're going to bitch about all the shitty food they feed you. And if you want to change it, you're going to stop buying that food. People are going to stop buying that food. That's how they're going to change it. And next thing you know, you walk in the food court and someone's like, yeah, so this is like a new take on a salad bar. You're like, what do you mean? It's like, well, you buy this cup, this tumbler, right? This lovely tumbler. And basically you fill it with salad. And then you shake it up. And it's got this cool little fork that's built in the side. No one's ever seen this. It like doubles as like a handle with a fork. And it's got this cool name. It comes in this cool little shape, and it's called whatever. I don't know what to call it. I'm just making this up. And we have the freshest ingredients in the world. People are blown away by this bar. In fact, we've gotten so good at this salad bar that we've started this other thing with this baked potato, as Bobby says. And this whole thing's going on where you've got this potato bar and you've got this salad bar. And then you walk in and there's a line out the fucking door. But they're not going to the salad bar. And you're like, what's going on? What's going on up there? And someone has opened a Zuki dog stand. And you're in line and you're like, oh my God, what's a Zuki dog? And someone takes a zucchini, and splits it open and roasts it just right and pours black bean salsa and cheese and sour cream in that sucker. And you taste something you've never had before. Okay, now we want a nacho bar, apparently, Bobby. Thanks a lot. That's how we change. That's how we change the appetite. We got to stop pretending that it's them doing it to us. It's our appetite doing it to us. It's our appetite doing this, guys. It's not them, it's our appetite. Stop letting people make fun of this. This is beautiful. And no one on the news is going to give you that. No one's going to encourage that. No one's going to tell you how to do that. That's you, man. That is you. I have to read this letter. I don't have to. I really want to read this letter. Greetings from Bournemouth, UK, James. I wanted to let you know that 3 of us, me, my daughter Rosa, and our friend Christy, had our first campfire last night. Next to a garden Rosa planted this year. It was far more magical than any of us had expected. Conversation flowed about how we were feeling and where we were going. As we burned what was no longer needed, we spoke to our ancestors and to the soil, promising we would never abandon them or ourselves again. Rosa seeded the fire with her father's ashes, so he would always be with us in our new ritual. He told her he was listening. I stood barefoot on the grass, suddenly aware of the depth of soil beneath me, as if it were a boat sailing on unfathomable waters. Deep, deep down was a heartbeat, desperately hoping we could hear it again. We've come a long way, and in so many ways, we've never been better or stronger. I just wanted to share that with you, James. I listen to you every day as I work with my hands, and from the outset, your words and your perspective has resonated with me. We spoke about you last night, and although we may never meet, you have a special place in all of our hearts. With love, Emily. I didn't mean to read that about me. I should have just stopped, but I stood barefoot on the grass. I stood barefoot on the grass, suddenly aware of the depth of soil beneath me, as if I were a boat sailing on unfathomable water. Deep, deep down was a heartbeat, desperately hoping we could hear it again. And that shit is real, man. That is authentic. This is what it's all about. And there's nothing salacious in that letter, is there? There's not one thing salacious about that.